If you're looking to start a gaming channel on a budget or need some tips on gear to get started, stick around because I have exactly what you're looking for. My name's Demethy, and if you're new here, we're going to start releasing more videos like this one, but we also have a lot of comedy and a lot of informational gaming videos, so make sure to subscribe for those. Getting started with a gaming channel can be very daunting and confusing if you don't know where to look. There's so much gear to choose from. Some are pretty great, but others not so much. And even when you know what you want, buying that gear is a whole nother beast because that's a lot of money to drop all at once. So what I'm going to do is not only advise you on what I feel is the best equipment and software to get started, but also a way you can accumulate that gear you want over time while still being able to make content. Also, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to assume you already have a system capable of recording or streaming video. I'm going to start with audio since, in my opinion, audio is one of the single most important things for a video because it can really make or break your content. For me, I tend to immediately click off a video if I notice it has poor audio quality, regardless of the content itself. It's just hard to listen to. A lot of you out there that want to make gaming videos are probably going to be doing things like Let's Plays or commentary type videos, in which case audio is again going to be the most important thing. And a lot of you looking for microphones have probably heard people recommending blue microphones like the Snowball or Yeti. They're really popular, pretty decent microphones, but I wouldn't personally recommend them, and here's why. These microphones are what's called condenser microphones, which are great if you have a treated environment like a vocal booth, but are terrible for untreated rooms as it'll capture a lot of room noise, and most people starting out don't have treated rooms. What you want as an independent content creator is a dynamic microphone, as they do a better job of rejecting all that unwanted noise. I don't want to go too much into detail about this, but let me know in the comments if you want a more in-depth video in the future. Now, the microphones I recommend are the Samson Q2U or the Audio-Technica ATR 2100. These are both phenomenal dynamic microphones for voice. They're great for voiceovers, they're great for Let's Plays, they're just overall amazing microphones for the price. I'm using the Q2U right now, and you can hear how good it sounds. And what's great about these microphones is they can work either connected via USB or XLR. The big appeal of the Blue Snowball and the Blue Yeti were the fact that they were plug-and-play USB microphones. It was easy to set up, and guess what? These two can do just that. But unlike the Blues, you can start off using just the USB functionality and it'll sound fantastic, but if you decide you want to upgrade with something like an audio interface or mixer in the future, you can still do that without buying a brand new microphone. Now, you can have the most expensive and most professional microphone in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna sound like crap. You're gonna need a way to record and process your audio. Audacity is a fantastic free program, and a lot of people use it. I think it's great for starting out, but if you want to go into a bit more advanced territory, I personally use a program called Reaper. It has a really cheap license at only $60 and is packed full of amazing features, but a lot of people aren't going to want to shell out those $60, so Audacity is still a great place to start. I'll also link below a few channels and resources to help you get started with processing your audio and sounding nice and crisp. Now, you're trying to make gaming content, so you're obviously going to need a way to record your games. If you're just focusing on PC gaming, then all you need is OBS Studio. It's totally free, and there's plenty of great tutorials on getting started with it. If you're trying to make content for console games, it's going to get a bit more complicated. There's a couple of routes you can go. Most consoles do have ways to record on the console itself, and you can easily load that up on a flash drive or something to bring it over to your computer for editing. The problem here is you're not necessarily getting the best quality out of it, and there's usually recording limits, so you're gonna get chopped up files. But the other issue is it can make syncing your commentary in post a bit of a challenge. It's not too hard, but it's an extra step that takes up time. If you don't want to deal with all that, you're gonna have to spend some money on a capture card. I use the Elgato HD60S. It's a nice, relatively lag-free capture card, goes on sale pretty often. Modern capture cards do get pretty expensive, and there's just not a lot of cheaper capture cards I'm comfortable recommending, as a lot of them have their fair share of issues. Even the AverMedia Live Gamer Mini, which is designed for beginners, has a pretty similar price tag to the HD60S, so there's not much reason to go with that over the Elgato. Alright, let's talk cameras. I know some of you are going to want to do face cam or maybe some talking head videos like this one, so you're obviously going to need a camera. Want a relatively free option? Your phone. Most modern smartphones these days already have fantastic cameras built in, and a lot of them can actually record for a pretty long time. So all you have to do is pick up a cheap phone mount and tripod and you're good to go. You just gotta sync everything up in post. The problem here though is there's not really a reliable way to connect it to your computer to have it function as a webcam, so everything does need to be done in your editing software. If you're trying to stream, this isn't really gonna be an option. Still a great way to start with video without having to spend any extra cash though. The next best option would be to get a webcam like this one. Now, I'm not a super big fan of webcams. It's okay if you get a decent one like the Logitech C920, which I have here, or one of the newer models, but it still leaves a lot to be desired. My preferred option is to get an actual camera like a camcorder or mirrorless/DSLR plugged into this guy. This is the Elgato Camlink 4K, which is basically just a capture card designed to take the HDMI signal from your camera and turn it into a webcam. Really awesome product, but you do need a camera to pair with this. If you already have one, great. If you don't, probably not the most cost-efficient option. You don't exactly need this unless you're streaming, but unless you're using a camcorder, most cameras also have a recording limit of about 30 minutes or so. If you want to up your audio game a bit more, or you're like me and you need to connect more than one microphone, then you need either an audio interface or a mixer. Behringer makes some awesome ones if you're on a budget. I use the UMC 404 HD, but they have options based on your needs. Interfaces are great because each microphone gets its own track, meaning I can edit each person's voice individually, which is a must for me. But if you don't want to have to edit the audio too much in post and don't care about multiple audio tracks, then a USB mixer is probably what you want to go with. It's also a great option for streamers since it processes your audio in real time and you have full control at your fingertips. Behringer also has a good line of budget mixers to go with depending on how many inputs you need and whatnot. There's also a lot of other big advantages of using an interface or mixer that I'm not going to get into in this video. The final thing I'm going to talk about is video editing software. Then I'll go a bit into how you can maximize your budget over a period of time. I'm a big advocate for DaVinci Resolve. Blackmagic has done a lot to turn Resolve, which was originally mostly just a color correcting and grading tool, into a full-fledged editor. I know a lot of people that have switched from Premiere Pro, which was the king for a long time, to Resolve because of how many awesome features it has. And what's even better about it is it's completely free. I seriously can't believe how much you get out of this without having to spend a dime. It's also super well optimized. It runs buttery smooth, granted you have a decently equipped machine. It's just phenomenal value. If you want a few other options, I'll link a video by EposVox on different free editing software up in the cards and down in the description. All right, let's start optimizing your budget so you can get started making content as soon as possible. First, I recommend getting the microphones, either the Q2U or the ATR 2100. They're both great. You can start out just plugging it into your computer via USB and recording your voice through Audacity and edit it there. You can also record the audio straight into OBS and edit it in Audacity afterwards, whatever floats your boat. We're starting out with free software, recording PC gameplay through OBS or capturing straight from your console to edit later. You can record Facecam for free from your phone if you want. You're already on the road to creating great quality content and you only spend about 50 or 60 bucks. That's really all you need. But let's say you want to start improving your efficiency. If you're doing console gameplay, next thing I recommend is the capture card. That way you don't have to deal with all the extra steps and caveats associated with capturing directly from your console. Better quality capture as well, easy to sync up with your commentary, and limitless recording. Now, you're pretty much set. You really don't need to upgrade to a webcam since most smartphone cameras already look better than what's on the market anyway. But let's say you're streaming or your phone has a limit to how long it can record. Then you're gonna want to pick up a webcam. If you already had a camera on hand and that's what you've been using, then get a Camlink instead. Finally, the interface, mixer, and Reaper license are the lowest priority depending on your needs or wants, so I'll let you decide on those. You don't need to spend a lot of money to create amazing quality content, and you don't need to drop a ton of cash right away. Just build it all over time. Overall, it's about your own abilities, getting creative with editing and learning and researching how to best utilize the stuff you have on hand. The quality of your content really depends on the amount of work you put into it, because as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, even with a ton of gear, even if you have the best gear on the market, if you don't know how it works, it's gonna sound like crap. If you thought this video was helpful, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you have any ideas on what I should cover next, leave a comment down below and start making gaming videos now.